Alrighty, it's starting to get hot again. It's like mid 80s today, whereas in the past week it was around the mid 70s, and it's starting to go up again, so that's not fun at all. Now, I'm also right here farming more pothos clamps. I'm at about 150, I think, maybe a little bit more, and I need to get to 420 total. And yeah, I'm serious about that number. It is genuinely 420. But anyway, while doing this, there's been a game on my mind a fair bit recently, and that game is Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I almost said Marvel Rivals by accident. Now, the game is currently in beta right now. I think it actually releases like August 4th or maybe August 6th, somewhere around there. But it's in beta at the moment. I have not actually tried it out myself yet, but I am somewhat interested in actually trying it. But I do have my few worries about it, or I guess just my fears, something like that. I probably have a little bit less than 1,000 hours in my entire lifetime of playing fighting games, and fighting games are a whole different type of game to learn. It's way different than your typical first person, third person game. And while 1,000 hours might seem like a lot of time to some people, to me that's very little, especially just in comparison with my total playtime of other games. I easily have tens of thousands of hours on a variety of games, really for my entire lifetime. I have about 7,000 on Warframe, about 4,000 hours on Destiny 2, about 2,000 hours on Overwatch 1. I have thousands of hours of cross Call of Duty, especially in the golden era. And then I just have a ton of playtime in a variety of other games as well. But fighting games, not quite the case. Now, I've played a few of them at least. I played Soul Calibur 2, 4, 5, a little bit of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Mortal Kombat 11. And then I guess some Super Smash Bros. Melee, although that one's also a different fighting game from the typical fighting games. Now, why is this important? Well, because fighting games kinda rely on you actually doing well and improving. It's kind of hard to enjoy a fighting game if you suck at it, whereas if you suck at a first person or third person game, that's not really the end of the world, because first person, third person games are generally more chill, and you can also go way more at your own pace for learning them. If you're just not that good at them, well, you can play a single player story campaign game, and you can play it on an easier difficulty. Guess I'll help out again. I got my Siren, yippee, let go. Do I have any good weapon? Okay, Coda Catabolus, that's all that I need. But really, I think the barrier of entry to just a shooter game or whatever is a lot easier. It's a lot lower. Whereas the barrier to entry for a fighting game is kind of high. Wait, what build do I want to run right now? Do I want to run my Tempest build? Maybe I do, actually. That'll be silly to run. Why not? And we got my Catabolus, and then I don't really care about what the heck else. But for shooter games, that's just all I'm going to say for now, instead of just whatever first person, third person games. I do think they are more chill and relaxing to actually get into, whereas for fighting games, I mean, it's all you. It's a one-on-one fight, whereas typical multiplayer games are 6v6, at least if they're a team fight game. Like Marvel Rivals, for example, it's a 6v6 game. If you don't do well, other players might notice it, they might not. They'll typically only notice it from the stat line though. They're not actually going to really see how you are performing yourself. They're not going to see the fine details, whereas in a fighting game, they're going to see the exact details of your garbage performance. They're going to go, oh yeah, this guy is definitely a noob, he sucks at this game. Whereas for a 6v6 game, I mean, they might just kind of be like, oh, I mean, rough times, you know? Maybe you're just getting absolutely dogpiled on. Whole team is just picking on you specifically from the enemies, like, well, that does happen sometimes. And then also, since it's a team game, you know, it's not just your performance that matters. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting. The responsibility is split up between all the players, right? And also, if you do poorly, that's alright. Maybe someone else can do a little bit of the lifting. And then also, if it's a casual match, no one really should care how you're performing. If it's a ranked match, then yeah, I'm sorry, people are gonna care. I try not to care about other players' performances, even in ranked. That being said, it's not like I don't focus on them. I don't say anything. Oh man, it really had to be survival again. The amount of times I get survival and do very stuff, it's so, just makes things take so much longer. So really, I guess that's like my worry about fighting games, is that you kind of gotta do well to have fun, or at least be improving to have fun. If you suck at them, then you're probably just not gonna have that much fun. Whereas at least with other games, if you suck at them, you'll still probably have some fun, especially since you can lower the difficulty if need be. easy, unless it's a multiplayer game, of course. But the other thing with multiplayer games is, again, since there's other players, people are going to have their attention spread out. They're not going to be solely targeting you. You can still get some picks on some clueless players, and then there's just also going to be more of a mixed bag of good players and bad players. And then maybe you can do something cheap to get a kill. Like, hey, in the old Call of Duties, there were plenty of people camping. I mean, there still probably are plenty of people camping, but cheese definitely exists in multiplayer games. I'm sure there's plenty of cheese for fighting games, but it's a little bit more tricky to pull off if you're actually a new player going against someone that's good. So that is kind of my worry. It's like, what if I buy the game and then like I don't really get good at it. I don't really improve much, and that's just not going to be fun, of course. Then I guess there's also the thing of like, I'm only kind of interested in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I'm not really interested in any other fighting games at the moment, which I guess that on its own is completely fine. But I'm thinking about buying an arcade stick because I tried typical controller, Xbox One in this case, for Dragon Ball FighterZ a little bit, and that just destroyed my thumb because I tried to use the D-pad instead of the stick, because the stick is just, I think it's a little bit less precise. It's a little bit more awkward to use. It's harder to put in fast inputs. It's nice if you have to do any sort of quarter circle, but it's not good if you have to do like a double press forward or something like that. I was trying to find the right word for it. And then keyboard. I think keyboard gets a bit cluttered for fighting games because you just have so many extra keys that are not necessary at all, and it probably just gets overwhelming, especially when you're first learning it. Because for typical games, I know my general keys. Obviously, WASD, that's the movement keys. Shift, that's the sprint key. Spacebar, that's the jump key. Control, that's crouch. E is interact. R is reload. And then I kind of just fit in the other keybinds to whatever works the best. Like typically, if there's a prone, I'll probably put it to Z. Q is kind of like my special key. If there's any sort of ultimate, or if there's like a secondary grenade. Grenade I typically put to my middle mouse button. Melee I typically put to my mouse side button. 1, 2, 3, 4 is either abilities or weapons, something. And my dog's barking at my door. Hold on. So there's that. And whereas for fighting games, well, I mean, the keys are a little bit more confusing. Oh, what, I think it's like HJKLUIOP or something like that. I think there's typically 8 keys that people use, and then whatever your movement is. But there's just so many extra keys around it that are not needed, so you're probably just going to accidentally hit a key that does nothing, or maybe it does actually do something. And it's also, they're kind of small keys, right? They're not large, they don't stand out a whole lot. What am I doing right now? Whereas I think with an arcade stick or a fight pad, whatever you prefer, I think a fight pad is where you have buttons instead of the stick. I think I kind of want to try the stick because it just looks fun to actually try to learn. I mean, I've always seen arcade sticks at actual arcades. I've never actually messed with one though, and it looks kind of fun to learn. And I'm sweating so much right now, it's just so hot in my room. Where is, okay, there she is. And my grenade missed, okay. But of course, if I buy a whole arcade stick and I only use it for Marvel Rivals, well, not Marvel Rivals, my gosh. If I only use it for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, like, is that worth it? I mean, that still is a fair bit of money because I don't want to buy like a cheap, not good arcade stick. I was looking at one that kind of looks nice. It's around $100. I think $100 is like the lowest I'd spend on an arcade stick, because obviously you want to find one for a good price, and that means not going so cheap that it's bad and not going so expensive that like it just does not make sense. I think around $100 is fine. It's not like I don't have the money for it. But really my only kind of main concern or question is actually how good can I get at a fighting game, and then also just like the learning process of it, because it really does look like it takes a lot of practice to get decent at them. But I guess there is like training, there's arcade mode. I assume there's some sort of story to play through. Maybe I'm wrong on that, because I remember Soul Calibur 5 was probably the fighting game that I played the most, funny enough, even though I know people hated it. I remember playing the arcade mode in there, and there was also like the Legendary Arcade, or the Legendary Souls, I think is what it was called. It was just a really difficult version of arcade, and I actually spent quite a bit of time working on that and improving to actually be able to beat that. I think my first run ever was like 40 minutes. It was not good. I was getting beat up, but then I eventually got the time down to like 7 minutes. minutes. But anyway, this is just my thoughts on Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. The game does definitely look cool. I don't know who I would play yet exactly. Like, I do think Black Panther actually looks kind of fun. I think a lot of people have been playing Blade, which I understand he is Aura incarnate. There's probably going to be a lot of people playing Deadpool. Doctor Doom actually does look kind of fun. Gotta say, his voice actor is pretty good too. I mean, all the voice actors are nice. My dog wanted out again. Dang it. I should actually probably at least like focus a little bit while playing. I'm so used to autopiloting. Just not autopiloting good right now. But Marvel Tokon, it's $60, I think, which, I mean, that is good to see. I do think it is like a very good looking game. It looks quality made. Graphics look nice. I mean, Arc System Works always does pretty good fighting games, I think. Guilty Gear looks nice, Dragon Ball FighterZ looks nice, and the moves and combos do look fun. I guess the other kind of worry that I forgot to talk about for fighting games is just how long it lasts in terms of popularity. There are typically, the honeymoon phase normally lasts like, I don't know, a month maybe, and then you start getting your more general dedicated audience. Fighting games definitely are probably the most niche of games that actually still have a community to them. I mean, if you think action shooters are niche, fighting games are definitely more niche than that, because I think they're probably the hardest to learn, for me at least. Like, I would probably have an easier time learning Rainbow Six Siege or Counter-Strike because they're at least familiar feeling. I know how to move around in a shooter game. I know how to aim. I can point and click. Rainbow Six Siege is just so hard because of all the dang angles you gotta learn. I really hope there's a Jeff Landshark DLC character for Marvel Tokon. I mean, there's gotta be someday, right? There's no way they can miss out on Jeff. I wouldn't doubt them having a Rocket Raccoon too. They got a lot of characters to pull from, that is for sure. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to yap about for today. The arcade stick that I'm thinking about buying is like a Kanba, I think is how you say it, Kwanba, and it's like $100. So maybe it's just something I'll have to just mess around with and see. I cannot do an Xbox controller anymore. That actually tore up my thumb using the D-pad. And then mouse and keyboard, I am not interested in using that for a fighting game. As I said, it's pretty overwhelming. But anyway, maybe I'll go ahead and order it. I just have to put some time into learning this. Probably more of a dedication process more than anything else. Anyway, I'll see you all in whatever I do next. Probably more Warframe. Would you be surprised?